Hey friends, welcome back to a new video. Now that I'm going all in on my dream, the income streams from YouTube and other miscellaneous things have been quite small, things have been quite tight. So now that I've moved out of my parents' house and am paying rent on my own, being adult on my own, I've had to live more on a budget than I have before. My main goal still is to save and invest as much as possible just to make sure that I'm taking care of myself in the future. So now that I'm in such a budget mindset, I thought I'd share small ways that I make sure that I stick to my budget or small ways that I save money on. So number one is biking absolutely everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's cold, if it's raining, I really try to bike everywhere. The cost for transportation, let alone a car, is quite a lot. One trip on the subway will cost me about €3. That means if I'm going somewhere, I will have to at least spend €6 back and forth. With the bike, I'm so much more flexible as to when I will be going somewhere, where I will bike to, where I will park, things like that. Biking is absolutely free, and I'm also getting a free workout, which is great. Granted, biking in the winter isn't very comfortable or when it's raining, but if I were to swap 2 outings a week with biking, then I would be saving about $50 a month or €50 a month, and that is about a week worth of groceries, at least for me. Another thing that saves me quite a bit of money is meal planning. I guess if I've planned out what I need and what I want to buy, I am not just wandering around the supermarket shopping for whatever looks good, and I end up buying a bunch of things that don't really go together, and I overbuy on some things, underbuy on other things that will cost me another trip to the supermarket. I just find that going there once for the whole week and buying everything I need for the week just saves me so much more money, and for that I have to plan what I need. This way I'm also saving on food waste and not just wandering around the aisles aimlessly, not really knowing what I want to eat. Number 3 is to shop what is in season. I found this out somewhat recently that things cost so much more when they're not in season. For example, the zucchini here in winter costs about €4 to €5, when compared to in summer it only costs about $1.30, $1.50, something like that. So you're saving so much more money if you're actually buying the produce that is in season. Number 4 is to make your own food. Now this is kind of a no-brainer that making your own food, cooking your own food is cheaper than going out to a restaurant to eat, but I also make sure to plan ahead. That means if I know that I'll be out and about on a certain day, then I will try to make lunch for the road or to pack something for when I'm traveling. This way I will avoid buying things from a store or a bakery, which are mostly not as healthy, in my opinion also not as good, and definitely cheaper if you bring your own food. Number 5 is shopping secondhand. Now some of you might know that we just moved and there were some pieces of furniture that we were missing that we just didn't have. We tried to use mostly what we already have, but some things we just needed to purchase, and we made sure to buy things secondhand. One, for environmental reasons, which was really important to us, but also just for money's sake. Buying things secondhand is so much cheaper, and I have somewhat become an expert on finding secondhand items on eBay listings. I found amazing things, for example, a solid wood table for just €10, a beautiful lamp for just €8, and a beautiful, huge, cozy armchair for about €60 or so that would have otherwise cost me over €200 if I had bought it new. Also, when I was back in Florence, I was shopping clothes secondhand, and I again got amazing deal on items. I had gotten a cashmere cardigan for €30 that cost over €300 new, I had found online afterwards. With secondhand items, I feel like you need to be a little bit more patient. You can't have the item straight away, but I think that's something we need to be or should learn to be okay with. I don't think it's very healthy to gratify our urges instantly. We also teach children and toddlers that you have to be patient, you have to wait for your turn, you have to wait for things. But as adults, we want things immediately. So you have to be a little bit patient and be able and willing to, I guess, rummage a little bit through the internet or through the store to find your item. But when you do, it is so worth it. The items are most of the time so unique, so beautiful, so much better or nicer than what you could have bought new, and best of all, you save quite a lot of money. Number 6 is just not buying stuff at all. So we were talking about buying secondhand things, but a lot of the times what is even cheaper is just not buying it at all. Even if it was on sale, even if you did or were able to save $200, not buying it in the first place is still always cheaper. In the past 1.5 years, I did a no buying clothing challenge that I really enjoyed. Even though I'm not actively doing the no buy challenge anymore, I'm also not actively shopping, so I'm trying to stay away from shops and online stores that I know will tempt me, because I know I have everything that I need and everything extra is just luxury. And if I'm trying to save a lot, then the luxuries are the things that we can easily save on. I'm currently also doing a Amazon no buy that is going really great so far. I will link the video down below and be sure to join if you're interested. Now, you might be thinking that with all this saving and not spending money, I'm just probably sitting around at home not doing anything, but that is not true. You can still enjoy activities and do things and have fun, but you don't always need to spend money or spend a lot of money on those things. So Johannes and I have been trying to do fun, in a sense, free activities a lot of the times. So we will, for example, go to the cinema occasionally, but we try to stick to free activities which are not lesser than activities that would cost something. So very simple things like just enjoying some music together, I think, is something that is very underrated. But things like playing board games or puzzling together, being creative together, sketching, drawing, painting. We did that the other weekend. It was so much fun. But also just doing a movie night at home. You can go a little extra, make yourself delicious snacks or popcorn, and just be very intentional with your space. Make it very cozy and cinema-like. You can just walk down your neighborhood, explore that, explore a new neighborhood, or you can just pop into shops and look at items in these shops without actually buying them. But if you know that that's something that will tempt you, then maybe stay away from that one. Or just take your bike and bike around, explore your surroundings. That is something that is, again, also very underrated and something that is a lot of fun and free to do. Something we also really love is exploring antique markets. That's something we did all the time in Florence, and we found antique markets here in the new city that we live in. And also just going into bookstores, looking at books, looking at window displays. That is also something that can be very fun. It is all about what you make of the situation instead of necessarily the activity itself. So these were my 7 living on a budget tips that I'm following right now. Hopefully you found some of these helpful if you're also trying to stick to your budget or trying to save as much as possible. I know that for a lot of people, these times currently are very strange, maybe a little unpredictable. Sometimes I also just really need to remind myself not to get too stressed out about money, which I sometimes tend to get. Just have a plan, but then try to live in the moment. Something I like to remind myself of is that, will this constant worrying help me in some way? And most often the answer is no. I'm just making the current situation worse, and I'm not magically conjuring up more money by worrying, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to see more finance, baking, minimalism videos. I do a lot of different things. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.